My hat! Now I have my friends LaTrax here one more time. So I did replace the pinion and spur for him. The only problem is, because of this system here, well actually it was the battery. The battery was too wide and it was hitting the shaft, creating more friction, so he actually burnt out the motor. And the reason why I know it's the motor is I plugged in one of my motors onto this ESC and it worked. So the ESC is good, the motor is gone. But he's got a bunch of really cool parts that he's going to have me install on here. This is the aluminum steering belt crank, it appears. This is by Hobby Park. And let's see, I'm trying to find a part number. Oh, here we go. So the part number is in the back, and you can go ahead and see this is X002RDJ3QL. That's pretty cool. Good color. Oh, these are pretty cool. It's also by Hobby Park. He has the fronts. They look like the front steering knuckles. X002R0RS2P. So those are parts he's using for that. He has the aluminum shocks by Hobby Park as well. They appear to be built. Not sure if they have oil though. I'll open one up and see if it has oil or not. These are X002ROYI3H. We'll see. And then drive shafts and everything else with the aluminum hexes, also by Hobby Park. X002R0VVL8L. Probably going to install these last, and I'll do the belt crank first because that will require the disassembly here. And he's got this really cool Savox Servo he's going to go with, and it is pretty fast, 0.06. It's pretty nice. Let's see, what's the part number on this? This is a 0262MG, so SH0262MG. So these I'll install together, so I'm going to have to run power to the system just to make sure that that servo is neutral. And this is really cool. I hope this fits. If it doesn't fit, I'll let you know. If it fits, then I'll be installing this. But it's a waterproof system, 1/18 scale, Mamba Micro. Let me open this up. Oh. All right, so you have the manual with all the instructions to go through and read this. I've read too many of these, but you definitely go ahead and read this. See the motor. This way. It has to be this way. No. Oh, it's just a box that opens this way. All right. Oh, wow. Is there anything else in here? No, that's it. Just foam. This is neatly packaged, I'll tell you that. Little tiny motor. This looks really nice. Again, Castle Green. And the wires do not matter. So the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hook it up. And then if it runs in reverse, I'll just swap two of the wires. And then it should run fine. There's also a way to reverse the throttle and brake on the transmitter if you have a TQ. Oh, this is a LaTrax. I think this is the same as a TQ. But the easiest way is just swap the wires. And let's see, there is nothing else in here. All right. So we'll save that. And this is the Mamba Micro X. This is really neat. It is tiny. The heat sink looks big on this thing. But yeah, here are the wires. Oh, I need a solder connectors. All right, I'm going to have to look for a Traxxas connector. I hope I have one. Because he didn't leave one. But that's fine. I should have some lying about. We'll leave this here, and we're going to need double stick tape, probably, unless it fits in there. I'll see how this one is mounted shortly. But here we go. So first, I will start just disassembling this top portion because I need to get to the steering. So the servo, the screws are down here. So if I remove those two, the servo should come out. And then for the steering bell crank, I wonder if it'll probably be easier if I simply remove the mount and then separate this here, just remove this piece altogether. I believe that will be the easiest way to go, although maybe I want to take this bridge with me. Yeah, let me do that. I'll remove these. So here we go. So I'm going to start disassembling the top, and I'm going to remove this screw here. I'm going to have to open up the receiver box as well. The important thing here is to not lose screws, misplace them, because they are small, and some of these are different lengths. So the first one I've removed is this one here, and I've placed it there. You can barely see it because of the mat. Here's the next one. And I'm not pulling on the ESC because I am not sure yet if it is glued or not. Next thing you know, it's screwed on, pull on it, break it, and it's a good ESC. I don't know if he's going to use it on something else. Keep it as a spare. I know he does have another LaTrax. They are fun vehicles. My wife has two of them, and when I'm good, sometimes she lets me borrow one. If I'm really good, she'll let me borrow two of them. It's a little difficult, though, to work the throttle, brake, and steering with one hand, but I managed. I managed to crash into everything. That's the only thing I managed doing. But here we go. All right, that screw isn't coming out. Let's see. What else do I need to remove here? That. Oh, there we go. There's a screw in here. That was missing. This appears to be the screw for the motor mount, which I'm going to have to access anyway at some point. I might as well. And the short screw is the one that goes on top. Long screw goes in there. And there we go. So those were the two. And for now, that is all I'm going to remove until I can see underneath this here. And I do not see any other screws. It should only be those two screws. I have a feeling, I do see some tape here. I have a feeling this is taped on, not just screwed. But let's see if I can remove the screw. So I'm just using my nail to stick it underneath the screw so I can help it out. That way I can tell if it's out or not. I'm not being very successful. But there we go. It screws up. Oh, dropped back in the hole, but it's loose. This is, yep, it has double stick tape. That's the reason why. So just lift. This is on tight. Oh, it's the foam. I see. The foam is what was keeping it there. So this, you're going to have to lift and then just pull the wires under. And be careful not to tear this ribbon, because this appears to be the servo wire. I'll double check. Oh, it's the ESC wire, and it's wrapped. Here we go. So we'll leave this here, and then the small one I can just put back there. Goes like that. All right, that looks neat. And is this just, I believe this might just be double stick tape. It is just double stick tape. All right, I will remove this first. And I want to go to, well, I'm going to remove both of them because I will be replacing the servo as well. So here, I'm just pulling on the wire from the back up so that I can get enough slack to pull this up without tearing these wires out. And here we go. ESC is out. And I'm going to be careful not to destroy this foam. Actually, if I can strip this off, just pull it off without tearing it. Perfect. Oh, never mind. Well, I don't think he'll be watching this video. I'll tell him not to. I'm kidding. It'll be fine. There's still some minor glue there. All right, ESC is out. So that is it for the ESC. At this point, I might as well install the new one in that place. Let me just grab a little bit of alcohol so that I can put on the ESC to make sure this is clean. And something, I'm not gonna do it to this one because it should hold, I hope. We'll figure it out. But if it doesn't, I'm gonna cut that sticker off because those stickers will come off. Although this is very light, so I'm not worried about it. The question here is the switch. There is a switch, probably mounted on top of the receiver box. So I'll place it on this other side, grab some double stick tape, 3M, stick it there. But this, I will go ahead and install this way and just do it this way so that I can see better. All right, would that work? I believe that would work. Go ahead and stick that on. All right, and that is on. Good. So the ESC is on. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and do the motor now. So this is here. Now, for the motor, you're going to have to remove this one as well. So we've already removed 1, 2, and then 3. This is the third and final screw for the motor mount. And you just lift this up, motor mount will come out, and leave the screw there, and then this will just pop out, straight up. And now I just need to remove these 2 screws. This is the moment of truth, because I installed the ESC first. Should have done the motor, just to make sure it fits, but it should fit. And I will have to remove the pinion gear because the pinion will be used in the new motor. And for this, I'm going to need my 1.5mm driver. And there it is. So, yep. Right. If you really want to make sure, I was going to crack a joke, but never mind. Next thing you know, somebody actually does it. So, never mind. I'm not going to tighten all the way. I'm just making it a little snug just so I can install everything. Now these screws, let me just check them. Let me check the screws. You may want to apply a little more thread lock, which I will. Here we go. Perfect. And now let's see, which are the holes to be used? There's several. That one will not work. That does not work either, so it must be. It's those 2. All right, so the holes that you're going to need are these that are further apart. So if you just rotate the mount, eventually you will get that pair of screws that will work. So those do not work. These do not. You just keep rotating. Right, it's those right there, but now my motor's upside down. There we go. All right, well, let's try it out. There it is. Oh, missed. screw doesn't want to thread, and I did not see any screws in there. It's different screws. I'll check the box. These are not threading. Alright, there are no screws in here. And these screws are not threading, but in the meantime, I can show you. This is a much thinner motor, which is normal. Brushless motors tend to be a little smaller in diameter. But let's see, why is this not working? That is the question. All right, let me try it out over here. Alright, so apparently this motor uses thinner screws. That's why the screws weren't threading, and luckily for him, I have a pair here that will work. So let me just make sure these are long enough. If not, it won't work, and I'm going to have to give him the bad news. Let's see. So we'll take them out, and again, now these screws already have thread lock on them, as you can see that blue. So I'm not worried about that. My concern is if they will fit properly. And I do need this little plate, so I'm going to save these screws and give them back to him. I'll just put them in the box right in here. And let's see, to see which way this will have to install. Install it closer or farther away. And we have another problem. Wait, there we go. It's going to be closer. That's easy. All right, let's grab the other screw. So make sure that you have these smaller screws. These are 2mm. I believe they're 2mm. So instead of 3mm, use 2mm screws. And the problem that I'm seeing here is this may not fit. Alright, so the motor's not going to fit. That's a problem. Which means that I'm going to have to remove that. Well, I guess I'll do the installation for everything else. Let me just remove this then. And too bad. Kind of sad. It's very sad actually. So these are the screws that are furthest apart. And when I put the mount here, it does not work. They're just too close. A little too close. So I'm not going to do it. So long story short, this system does not fit, so do not spend money on buying this motor for your LaTrax vehicle. I'm going to leave the ESC just in case he wants a different motor. For now, I'm going to keep these parts here. Close the thread lock. And I'm going to start replacing some of the other parts. So the fun does continue.